House is going after Wikipedia. Nick Fuentes, obviously not happy about that. We're gonna go into that first. Then Nick Fuentes covers Thomas Massie coming out talking about how every single person has an AIPAC representative. AIPAC has infiltrated the lobby. You will not believe what I show inside this video. We'll see Nick Fuentes break that down. I'm gonna show you receipts of how many people are in the Senate races that are AIPAC backed and how many races they've actually won and how they're unbeatable. And you're gonna see Thomas Massie and Theo Von breaking down what AIPAC is, what they do for us, what we do for them, and how they're even capable of actually being a lobby here in the United States and being inside of our politics. It will give you a really clear breakdown of what AIPAC is actually up to and how they've been able to do it. Stay tuned, stick all the way through to the video. You don't want to miss this. Let's get right into it.
Tonight, we're going to talk about a letter that was sent to Wikipedia by the House of Representatives. They're saying that Wikipedia is biased. Oh, finally. Wikipedia is very biased. If you look at their profile on me or any conservative ever for that matter, it is effectively an encyclopedia of hit pieces. But take a wild guess. I get tired of it. I get tired of it. I myself, and it's my brand, it's my thing. Take a wild guess. You want to know what the House Republicans' complaint about Wikipedia is? Take a stab in the dark with no contextual information. What do you think their complaint is about Wikipedia and their editorial bias? You guessed it. The Republicans say that Wikipedia is too pro-Palestine. Its articles about Israel and the Jews are anti-Semitic. I feel like Rachel Maddow on the night of the election. Do you remember in 2016 when she said, nope, this isn't a terrible, terrible dream. No, this isn't a nightmare. This is us. This is our country. This is reality now. That's how I feel. I feel like her in 2016 and 2025. Every day you wake up, FEMA resources, can't have them, boycotted Israel. Harvard, no research grants. Why? Criticized Israel. Mass deportations for anyone that shit on Israel on Twitter. We're going after Wikipedia. Oh, finally some good news because they're anti-Semitic. Okay. I just get really tired of all of it. But anyway, if we have time, we'll talk about that as well. Otherwise, we'll save it for tomorrow. Before we get into all the news, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Bravely, that ordered everybody to the ground, got them mentally ill, are racist. At the same time, though, types, Satan, there's a lot that has been said about accelerationism, but this is a unique brand of accelerationism, and it seems that occultic types, Satanist types have gravitated towards. There's very different names of these groups and different memes and different forums and things, but they're effectively Satan.
So as you can see here, the ADL released a report indicating that a group of at least 30 editors that were writing on Wikipedia were systematically adding or manipulating Israel-Palestinian content, downplaying Palestinian violence, anti-Semitism, and emphasizing anti-Israel narrative. The Israel Times also confirmed this. They also said that editors were coordinating edits across 8,000 narratives and misleading content across the board. Watchdog claims at least 30 Wikipedia editors are acting together in coordinated campaigns to fulfill a collaborative online encyclopedia with widespread anti-Semitic and anti-Israel bias and likely violation of Wikipedia's policies, according to a report Tuesday by the Anti-Defamation League. The ADL report is the latest volley in a battle between anti-Semitism watchdog and one of the most popular websites in the world. They're coming after us now. They're coming after our public domain of information and data, right? Our database that we all, held each other accountable for. Now they're going after that information and that public website. That's a bold, bold statement. You have to understand they're coming for the jugular, and they've already, look, I come from a finance background with stocks and crypto. When you own 5 to 10% of a supply, you can manipulate the price of the chart going up and down. So imagine, as you can see here, AIPAC was involved in 389 races, including 26 Senate races and 363 House races. They won all of these. They lost these 3 red ones. To be determined are the light blue, pink, or purple are no primary held, non-AIPAC users. AIPAC races did not run for re-election or resign. So in 88 races, AIPAC-backed candidates faced no opponent. So in 88 races, AIPAC-backed candidates faced no opponents. So you have to understand that the overwhelming influence of AIPAC around Senate and Senate races it's undisputable. It's undisputable. The data is right here. It's hard to find an accurate, nice, clean cut version, but the information is here. Now, I want you to understand the influence of AIPAC runs so deep within our government and our system. It's really hard to escape. People say, vote, stop voting for these people and stop. We're not going to vote our way out of this. This is a different situation. I don't know how to get out of it. I'm not a politician. I'm not a professional in this field. What do you think? Put a comment down below.
Like I said, I'm sure everybody has heard of Thomas Massie in the past few months. He is a Republican, but ideologically libertarian congressman from Kentucky. He's actually a very smart guy. I think he went to MIT, and I don't think that he's actually completely ideologically aligned with us. He's pro-immigration. I think he's relatively green and pro-environment. But the one thing that he's always been solid on as a libertarian is that he has been a frequent critic of the Israel lobby. And maybe one of the only critics of the Israel lobby in the Republican conference in Congress. And this has recently become a big problem after October 7th. Because after October 7th, everybody was supposed to get on board to give Israel whatever they need, whenever they need it, without any questions asked. That's what Nikki Haley said. So Thomas Massie has been, since October 7th, and like he always has, he's been voting against the foreign aid to Israel and all these various resolutions or bills that support Israel, and that has made him a target of AIPAC. And for those that don't know, AIPAC is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. AIPAC is committed to spending $100 million in the 2024 cycle. $100 million coming from just this group. And this isn't the only pro-Israel group. It's just one of them. But AIPAC alone is committed to spending $100 million explicitly, this is what they say, to defeat anybody that criticizes Israel. So they're spending that money in Democrat primaries, Republican primaries. They're going to be spending that money in generals. But the goal is purely negative. It's all about subtraction. The goal is to put out negative ads and prop up opponents of anybody that is not supporting Israel right now since October 7th. And like I said, all these different resolutions that are extending diplomatic or military or monetary support to Israel. So AIPAC spent, I believe it was $300,000 or $400,000. I forget the final number. It was initial spend of $300,000. I think they spent a little bit more than that when all was said and done. But they spent hundreds, close to $500,000 in Representative Thomas Massie's district and in every district in Kentucky running negative ads against him because he's not voting in support of these resolutions.
And it's true. He was targeted with ad campaigns, I think worth over $400,000, even more. We have no idea. AIPAC and an allied group launched a $300,000 ad campaign alone, targeting him for his anti-Semitic Israel views, particularly his vote against aid for Israel. And his potential Senate run meet was met with intense opposition with AIPAC pro-Israel first groups. And if he runs for Senate, groups like AIPAC, groups like RJC, United Democracy Project, and others have pledged unlimited spending power in order to oppose him. So he's up against the masses, which is kind of ironic for Thomas Massie. But the fact remains that that shouldn't be. AIPAC should be called to register as a foreign agent under FARA. After facing AIPAC backlash for opposing Israel aid, Massie polled his followers and they said 94.9%. Yes, we need to change. They had a strong public support for reclassifying under foreign lobbying laws.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. And then, this is maybe his revenge, Thomas Massie goes on Tucker Carlson for an interview, And tonight I want to talk a little bit about what he said. One of the most interesting things that Massie said in the interview with Tucker Carlson is that not only is AIPAC spending $100 million in this cycle, and not only did they spend $400,000 against him statewide in an effort to perhaps impose a ceiling on his political career, why would they run statewide ads? They would run statewide ads in the event that he might seek statewide office if he wanted to run for the Senate or governor. So not only did they do that, but he said also, it goes far deeper than anybody realizes. He said that there is an AIPAC representative that is appointed to every Republican member of Congress to push them to be pro-Israel. There are over 200 members. I think it's been changing, as it always does, but it's been changing over the past year. I don't know what the latest tally is, but there's like 218, 219 Republican members of the House. He says every single one of them, from California to Maine, has an AIPAC guy that is appointed from their district by AIPAC, and some of them are Jewish and some of them aren't. They're all pro-Israel, and that guy is planted in everybody's office to push them to be pro-Israel. He says that this AIPAC guy has the cell phone number of their representative. They go out to lunch with their representative. They will draft bills, language for that representative to publish in press releases that supports Israel.
Thomas Massie has been speaking out on the road for quite some time, talking about how every single person has an AIPAC representative. And you're going to see Thomas Massie and Theo Von just about 2 months ago breaking down what AIPAC is, what they do for us, what we do for them, and
how they're even capable of actually being a lobby.
Political. It's not a fund. It didn't start out as a super PAC. So
Political Action Committee?
Public Affairs Committee. There we go.
Public Affairs Committee. American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
Now, a lot of times PAC stands for Political Action Committee, like you said, but these guys were started before there were Political Action Committees, so it stands for Public Affairs Committee.
Got it.
And they bragged that they've spent more on elections than any other lobbying group.
In the world?
In the United States.
In the United States.
In Congress.
Okay.
They now do have a political action committee, and I forget what the name of it is. So AIPAC has a subsidiary that spends money to basically crack heads of congressmen. So there's two kinds of, by the way, there are two kinds of lobbying groups. Mm-hmm. There's access lobbying. That's where they're all your friends. They're never mean to you. Even if they don't like you, they'll buy you a steak dinner and they'll try to get you to hear out their point of view. And they figure, as long as I can get in that person's office, mm-hmm. I'm doing well for the people I'm lobbying for. Okay. But then there are confrontational lobbyists like AIPAC. And AIPAC has transitioned into a confrontational lobbying group where if you don't do what they want, mm-hmm. they come after you.
Wow. And what does it look like?
They spent $400,000 against me in my last election. And they are basically advertise themselves as just all things Israel. They mm-hmm. are lobbying for more money to go to Israel, which all the money we give to Israel is military money. So they are basically lobbyists for the military-industrial complex.
Got it. Understood. So, and I'll ask you some questions about that, the military-industrial complex, in a few minutes. But do you feel like Israel is a fair ally? Are they a good ally for us?
Well,
or is that too general of a question?
Well, I think it doesn't matter. Like, there's no big, giant Great Britain lobby. There's no Australian lobby. There's no German lobby.
Oh, the other countries don't have them?
No, not like this. This is singular. This is unique. I mean, if you're an ally, why wouldn't we work with you? Why do you have to convince us that you're our ally? Why do you have to basically go into every congressional office and convince them? And it's because they want to keep the money flowing. And they've got a good return on their investment. I mean, we send more foreign aid to Israel than to any other country.
Yeah.
They're, like 10 million people or something.
Yeah, I think this year,
Tennessee, I don't know the population in Tennessee, but it's probably about, on that order.
Yeah, I think this year they said we spent like $12 billion, but that's not actual dollars. It's in military aid, right?
Yeah, it's it's dollars
Like
that comes out of
munitions
the
and stuff?
Treasury. Yeah, but it's not like we give them. It's a gift certificate that's redeemable at Lockheed Martin and your local Raytheon.
Okay, got it. So that's kind of how that
crazy.
works.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Why do they have this carve out that's just for them? Like what do we get from Israel, do you feel like?
We got a lot of countries that hate us. It's one of the things we get.
Well, especially right now with this stuff in Gaza, I think it's one of the worst PR campaigns I've ever seen in my life. If they're even, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, I just don't, it gives their government this extremely evil look to me, and I think to a lot of people,
Well, rough numbers, there are 2 million people in Gaza and 50,000 have been killed. That's 2.5%. Like they've killed 1 in 40 people in Gaza. If you did that in the United States, if you did 2.5% of 350 million, it'd be almost 10 million people dead in the United States. Everybody in Gaza is at this point related to somebody who's been killed. Like at least a first cousin you had killed. And then if you say how many have been maimed, it's probably 3 or 4 times that. So everybody in Gaza knows people who've been killed and maimed.
And we're supporting it, right? That's also the part that makes it really tough sometimes to just be a person. It's like our tax money is going towards this. But I just hope that people in some of these other countries know that it's not regular, everyday people who would want to do these things, that it's like governments making these choices and it's corporate interests that make these choices.
That is such a great point that Theo Von makes. That is very astute. And it's a great point to make to the masses out there listening, the public that are not here in the U.S., and also even those here in the U.S., because we're not making those decisions ultimately at the end of the day. So we have to really see Theo Von starting to open up some philosophical angle here that I appreciate.
How would we stop it? Well, do we need this connection with Israel? What is it? No one ever explains what it's for, I feel like, right? That would help everybody have a much better understanding, because it starts to feel like America is just a shell company, an LLC for Israel. That's what it starts to feel like a lot of times, Do you feel like that's realistic, or do you feel like that's off base?
I wouldn't send them a dime. Like, that's my position. I don't think whatever we're getting isn't worth it. And don't ask me to articulate the benefit, because I think the cost is greater than the benefit. Everybody in Gaza is, at this point, has to hate Israel, right? And by extension, those bombs, when they see American politicians go over there and sign the frickin' bombs that are going to kill women and children.
What do we, actually, there was just a clip with Ted Cruz that came up. Can you see if you can find that, Trevin? Where Tucker Carlson was interviewing Ted Cruz. Let me see. This is a scary interview. During the Tucker Carlson interview with Ted Cruz, it's confirmed. Israel's version of the CIA called Mossad spies. Oh, it's about spying. It's like what we get. Let's just watch it for a second.
Yeah.
Does Mossad share all of its intelligence with us?
Oh, probably not, but they share a lot. We don't share all of our intelligence with them, but we share a lot. It's a close alliance.
Do they spy domestically in the United States?
Oh, they probably do, and we do as well. And friends and allies spy on each other. And I assume all of our allies spy on us.
That's okay with you?
You know what? One of the things about being a conservative is that you're not naive and utopian. You don't think humans are all... Part of the reason socialism doesn't work is the mantra from each according to his abilities to each according to his needs doesn't work. As a conservative, I assume people act in their rational self-interest.
So it's conservative to pay people to spy on you?
It's conservative to recognize that human beings act in their own self-interest, and every one of our friends spies on us. And I'm not...
Do you like it? That's my question. I'm not asking whether they have motive to. Of course they do. I understand that. And
by the way,
I'm not mad at that. And you're an American lawmaker, so I just want to know, hold on, I want to know your attitude. You said that your guiding principle, in fact, the only principle, the only criterion.
I said guiding, the overwhelming. I wouldn't say only.
Is it in America's interest? Is it in America's interest for Israel to spy on us, including on the president?
it is in America's interest to be closely allied with Israel because we get.
What do we get? That's the thing.
It's painful to watch that. So when I'm in a room with somebody and they say, "Can I talk to you?" Just frankly, is anybody listening? I say, "Well, there's 3 nation states plus our own in my phone.
Yeah.
There's going to be Russia, China, and Israel.
They're in our phone?
No, not yours. Like, it's a lot of effort to anybody can be hacked. Okay.
Oh, I thought one of the reasons I got to go to Qatar recently, and I wonder if they hacked my phone. I thought they were good. I don't know if that's crazy.
I think it's probably continuously hacked. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. It just seems like everything's hacked now. I get scared,
But if you're
I play the Israeli national anthem every 45 minutes.
Look, Amazon and Facebook know what you're saying in your phone, right? But probably Israel and Russia and China aren't devoting that effort and internet traffic, which can become detectable
to us.
Right. But you're probably, why wouldn't you be trying to hear what the 535 people in Washington, D.C. who vote on bills, what they are thinking?
Good point.
And then, also there are allegedly some congressmen who indulge in insider trading. But I would guess that there are probably some hackers who are also inside of congressmen's phones trying to figure out what the sentiment is in Washington, D.C., and then trading on that.
Wow. So there's always this extra layer kind of going on, it feels like.
Yeah.
But what do you think we get from Israel? I think it's just a big question. I think it's okay as a regular person, and I might get killed or something by Mossad or something, but what do we get from them as a country? Like, that's a big question America has right now. Is there something we just don't see? And if there is, just tell us what it is so we can operate accordingly,
No, I think they're the best lobbying group in Washington, D.C. And the reason they can do it is you have dual citizens, people who are American and Israeli, who are allowed to give money into American politics, and because they're American, and by virtue of that, you're allowed to participate. But if you're a foreign national, you're not allowed to.
So they're one of the few countries that can donate money to what?
To super PACs, to members of Congress.
Other countries are not allowed to do that.
Well, I mean, they could if you were dual citizens, but there's not so many dual citizens, as it were.
But could somebody be a Russian and American dual citizen and serve in a Congress or?
Sure, and donate to congressmen. By the way, I have introduced a bill that would require members of Congress to disclose if they are dual citizens, and I think that's only fair.
Right, because right now you could have allegiance to another country, not just the USA.
Correct. We swear an allegiance when you're a member of Congress to the Constitution. I always like to point this out. We're not swearing it to the country. We're not swearing it to the president. We're not swearing it to our party. We swear it to the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And other countries have constitutions too. What if you've taken allegiance to 2 different constitutions? Like the American, my bill wouldn't even keep you from being a member of Congress. It would just say you have to disclose it if you are. And by the way, it wouldn't necessarily just be Israel members of Congress who are also citizens of Israel. It could be other countries as well. I just think it creates a conflict of interest. And I have to disclose yearly which stocks I own. Mm-hmm. I have to disclose all my personal financial information so that the voters can decide if I am unduly influenced by that conflict of interest. And so that's the structure of my bill. My bill it's an election disclosure. Okay, you're running for Congress.
Bring it up.
Tell us which countries you are a
Representative Thomas Massie announces the introduction of H.R. 2356, the Dual Loyalty Disclosure Act. Representative Massie's legislation amends the Federal Election Campaign Act to require candidates for federal office to disclose both their possession of dual citizenship and also the foreign country in which their dual citizenship is held. So right now, people don't have to disclose?
Nope, they don't.
What?
You would have no idea.
Have you seen Spies Like Us, dude?
It's also, by the way, it's a safety net, by the way. If something went really bad, you could just go live in your other country. I think you should be all in for this country.
I agree. This ain't the fucking hokey pokey,
agree.
dude. I think you got to have both feet in or both feet out. You know what I'm saying, dude? But any country this could happen. It could be. So that's not just Israel.
Correct. It could be any country. It could be.
But Israel's the only one that has a big lobby.
So
Is there the Russian, like Russia PAC or whatever?
No, there is not. Like I say, there's not even Australia PAC or Great Britain PAC. I mean, because they're natural allies. Why would they have to lobby Congress? They're also not on our teat, like asking for money.
Yeah.
But I think it's also, it's a weird amalgamation of combined interests. There's a military industrial complex that is all in for everything AIPAC is for. And, and before I banned AIPAC from my office, we used to have conversations that would go something like this. Oh, you should be for the foreign aid that goes to Israel because it all comes back to the United States in the form of military spending. We're buying it all from American contractors. And it'd be like, no, that's not a convincing argument to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even know what it's about, but it seems like bullshit to me.
So now hearing that, Theo Von, Thomas Massie, it really sheds a lot of light on what's been going on with AIPAC and how they were able to even get into the government in the first place. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'll see you in the next one. It's your boy Danks.
They call me Danks.